Datacomp. I'd like to give you a couple ideas on how to solve your toughest inventory challenges. So if you take a look at some of the feedback that clients have given us over the years, people that have some interest in looking at M.O.M or multi-channel order manager, they come to us with some of these challenges here, and so hopefully some of these might look familiar to you, and then we can go into how we might be able to help you with some of them. I need to ship an order using the closest warehouse to the ship-to address. I have a SKU that gets drop shipped from multiple suppliers. Some SKUs have special shipping requirements. Fulfillment by Amazon and eBay, they have their own inventory, their own rules and regulations, so how do I know whether or not I have enough inventory for each of these channels, and how do I update each of those to have accurate information? My fast sellers are out of stock. How can I monitor low levels so that I don't run into too many backorder situations? What in the world should I do with these return products? How do I manage them? How do I look at the workflow? I need to manage multiple costs from multiple suppliers. And, you can see below, if the warehouse is kind of looking like this and things are a little crazy, you might need some help. So I'd like to just run through some scenarios and let you know what we can do. So M.O.M, has a bunch of different areas where we can help you out and keep things running pretty smooth. And it's, has regards to multiple bins and warehouses. We'd be able to configure multiple bins within each warehouse, and I'll show you a little bit. Product packaging and shipping efficiencies. Product pricing, both on the unit cost basis and the selling price basis. Manage and add e-commerce channels. This is for the Amazon, the eBay, and then even some others. Shipping restrictions. You might have some restrictions on how you want to ship certain items. Stock items, they can be set up to be handled, many different ways. With regards to the bins and warehouses, you can see here the default setting up top is use the warehouse that's closest to the customer. So if you have a warehouse in California and a warehouse in New Jersey, if the consumer is in Pennsylvania, it'll automatically try to ship the product from the New Jersey warehouse. So this will help lower your shipping costs for getting the product out the door. Manage the return and inventory, return and receive workflows. So by default, you have one bin, that's the units available for sale. And then you'd also be able to manage the products that you receive from purchase orders, and also products that you receive via returns from a consumer. You'd be able to transfer them into one of these bins, inspect it, and then transfer it over to the one that's available for sale. So it helps just manage the workflow a little more easily if you do have that need. As far as product and packaging and shipping efficiencies, we do have product-specific shipping charges. So if you always needed to charge a surcharge for an item, you'd be able to designate that here. If you needed to ship it with a specific shipping method, so if it's a perishable good and you always want it to go overnight regardless of what the customer chooses, you'd be able to designate that here. Item packs X to a box is a pretty cool feature where you can actually designate how many labels you want to print up, so when the order goes back into the warehouse, they'll know automatically that maximum of 2 items are going to go into each individual box. So if 4 items are purchased, 2 labels will print out, and the pickers and packers in the warehouse will know they need to put 2 items in each of the boxes, and they have the labels preset out there. Units of measure comes in handy for food merchants. Example, if you're selling coffee, you might need to sell the beans by the pound, or for clothing merchants that might be selling fabric by the yard. You'd be able to designate what the unit of measure is here, so that when one unit is purchased, you'd be able to deplete the exact amount of inventory that you need to. As far as pricing goes, we have a number of different configurations that you can set up for the purchasing level, so that you can set up multiple suppliers or multiple buying levels from each supplier. So you might have a quantity, for higher quantities, you might have a lower unit cost, or another supplier might be able to ship it to you faster. So you'd be able to designate which supplier do I want to use. Do I want to use the one that has the faster lead time to solve my back order situation, or do I want to purchase a larger quantity to get the lower unit price? You can also have your consumers purchase your products with a discount based on a number of different conditions. So you might have wholesale and retail clients. You may also have VIP, where you just want to give a super discount to your friends and family. You'd be able to designate those different pricing levels here, so that while your normal retail selling price might be $20, here you can see I have a retail selling price of $13.99 for my customer type code W, which is my wholesalers. And I also can designate a start and end date. So you can tie this into order promotions and give 50% off to my VIP clients just this weekend. and you could set that all up right here. Cross-sell and upsell is a good way to help with increasing the order value. So, for instance, if you're selling a cell phone, you might want to sell the case and the car charger to go with it. So it can increase the amount of the order so your consumers will buy more from you. Shipping restrictions. We've had a lot of food and chocolate merchants that don't want to ship chocolate to Arizona and New Mexico in the months of July and August. So this gives you a way to set up a way to not ship to certain regions or countries, states, zips during a certain time frame. And you can also block shipping to certain countries if you're not comfortable based on fraud purposes of shipping things to different regions. Or in a case of a wine merchant, you can't ship to certain states, so you'd be able to block the states that don't allow you to ship the product in that area. E-commerce, so e-commerce channels. This helps you to both maintain the e-commerce connections and also grow revenue and adding it to those channels and modifying the description. So you'd be able to have a different description for the product when you upload it to Amazon or eBay or Yahoo. You'd be able to offer a limited amount of units. So here it shows I have 2 units available for sale, so I may only want to publish that I have 1 unit available to Amazon. You'd be able to allocate the inventory in that case to the different channels. So you can also set up different prices. So while your normal retail selling price is $25, you might want to load it up on Amazon or eBay for a little bit less to try to move the product and get your product searched on and more order volume processed through those channels. When you're reordering, we make the purchasing very easy. So here in this case, I have a T-shirt that's called AAA, and my size color element is 222. So on the bottom, you can see there's a current low level. I can always designate what my low levels are, the minimum amount of quantity I want to maintain in stock. And then it gives you the suggestion of how many you need to buy based on how many units are on an order, what you need, and you get your suggestion there, but you can always override it and increase the quantity to buy. Inventory can be set up in a number of different ways. You can set it up as dropship items where you're not actually storing the item in your warehouse. You have another vendor that ships and invoices a customer for you. You can sell the item individually as an individual stock item or as a group or a kit. So you might sell gift baskets to, for corporate gifting. You may also have, say a bicycle that you're assembling. You may want to keep track of the parts, like, the wheels and the frame, but you want to sell it as a whole unit, a bicycle. Serialized inventory, if you need to associate a serial number with the purchase of a product, you'd be able to designate and import those serial number ranges into the system and sell that, and assign that to the order as it's placed. And also service items. So if you had embroidery, for instance, for clothing, you'd be able to add in a service fee to be able to do the embroidery. And not shippable products, but just a way to keep track of certain fees that you charge to process an order or do some ancillary services for the customer. So that's all we have. Thank you for watching this little video. Please, here's my contact info for the sales. Contact us at sales@tidycomp.com or 973-237-9415. We'd be happy to talk with you a little more about what else we can do to solve some of your inventory issues. And I'll just leave you with a couple of quotes, just some clients that recently purchased the system, Multi-Channel Order Manager, or M.O.M, and what they thought about how it helped their business. So thanks again for your time.